Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another week, to another day, another breath, another moment, another time and space to grow. Today's discussion is on sacred space, and we're going to walk through this deck here, which is one of my personal decks that I use for myself when I'm doing any kind of self-reflection. In terms of working with spirit and ancestral energies. I sometimes use this deck when I'm working on clients, but for the most part, it's for my own personal journey. However, I'm going to walk you through it because you know what? You might need it for yours. So here we go. All right. So these are the backs, which are absolutely gorgeous. I love the brown earth tones and things of that nature. I love the kind of goddess symbol there and kind of the like triple moon when you look at it. I love that. So, sacred space. Now, most people would say that that is a physical space that you set up inside of your home, in your office, or anything like that. I'm going to say it doesn't stop there. Sacred space is also created within. And what that entails is a healthy diet that is good not just for your body, but for your mind, for your spirit, for your emotional health, even for your financial health, right? When you think of creating a sacred space in your home, you think you want it to be meditation pillows and green, leafy plants everywhere, that kind of thing. You get the gist of what I'm saying. Do you have that within? The divine energy that you put into that space within your home, or that you try to fill in your home, do you have that within? Have you decorated the space, that sacred space within you? And a lot of times we think we need to, and I will admit this, okay, this has happened even in my journey. I thought that I needed to fill it with bullshit. And I'm using that term loosely, okay? When I say bullshit, it means I thought that I had to go by a certain dogma or, what do you call it? Like, I had to find a guru, right? And whatever they said was what I had to flow with. But not everything they said stuck with my spirit, right? So I realized I was creating a sacred space for somebody else and not for me. So are you creating a space that's healthy, that's pleasant, that's harmonious, that's just beautifully decorated for the divine that already resides within you, right? So when I teach people meditation, the first thing I have them do is set that space. And if that space starts out feeling muted or muddy or dark, we redecorate until it feels like home. So sacred space is that home feeling that most of us think that we need to reach outside of ourselves for, and really it's right there within us. And that's the part that you want to take and then feel your physical outside of your body. You want to fill your physical space with that energy. So with sacred space, then let's touch on it. You have to tap into virtually all 5 senses. The first one, your physical body. What are you putting inside of it? Don't get me wrong. Everybody likes a treat every now and then, right? I'm not going to say you should neglect yourself, because even spirit wants you to have that treat. Okay? If you want cheesecake, that's your body telling you it wants cheesecake. But are you overdoing it? Are you pushing yourself to a limit that you can't come back from easily? Are you taking in things that are vibrationally pleasing to your physical body on a divine level? Are you able to come home to yourself and feel good about it? After a long day's work, can you wash all that stuff away and take in proper nutrition for whatever your body needs, right? So your diet plays a part, and also who you interact with plays a part. Those are both on the physical level, okay? Because when you're interacting physically with a person, if their vibration ain't it, you shouldn't be touching it, right? If it makes you feel uneasy, then you got to work that out before you allow that to entertain your physical body, right? It's just like when, how can I say this? Like, you ever met a person who always wants to hug you, but you like, please don't touch me? It's that part. If you don't feel like that person should be touching you, you either have to work out your boundaries, or you have to check and make sure you guys are vibing, right? If you're not vibing, it's not going to work, okay? So that's the physical part. The mental part is tied to both your diet and the atmosphere that you're putting yourself in. So your mental and emotional are usually driven by those two things. By those things. Those two things are driven by your atmosphere, your surroundings, and how you react or respond to conflict, right? You can either treat it as if you're a victim, or you can treat it as if you're triumphant and you're victorious, right? Some people handle situations very differently than others. So you want to see where you sit on that scale, per se, when it comes to how you mentally and emotionally engage with certain situations and certain people, right? It's all tied together. And also your spiritual space, right? Are you clouding yourself with everything one person says, or with a ton of shit that only bits of it resonates with you, but you just keep eating it and eating it and eating it, and you're not really getting any sustenance? Be mindful of that, right? Because creating that sacred space requires mindful practice and self-awareness and total open awareness of everything that's going on outside of you and what's happening inside of you. You'll know when you're encountering something divine, because it'll stir you in that way, right? You'll get those warm chills. You'll just get that feeling. Like if you're like me and you like big old dogs, it's like when you see a big old dog and you just like, oh, like, you just get so excited. That's how it'll feel when you're encountering something that's in alignment for your highest good. If it is not, if it is triggering you, it's disrupting that sacred space. And you get to decide if you're going to react or respond. Responding suggests that you're learning from the situation. Reacting suggests that you are owning the situation as if it's your problem. If that makes sense. Like you're owning something you don't need to own. You just need to take the lesson and kind of move on, right? Reacting says, I'm going to play not necessarily play victim, but that's kind of the saying there. Like, you're going to become the victim in the situation. You're going to hold it as if you're the problem and you've been, victimized and things of that nature. You don't have to own that. You don't even have to entertain that. You literally can just take whatever lesson presented itself and keep going. That's the proper response. That's a healthier response. Not everything requires you to engage in it, right? And that's the part about keeping sacred space for yourself. So you want your home to be in good order, of course, right? You want your home to hold some form of divinity to it. But also understand that your home is a reflection of that space that you hold within. So if everything within you is chaotic, your home will reflect that in some way, shape, or form, right? For some, you don't, clean your kitchen, right? For others, you're hoarding things. For some, you might be, not dusting enough, just collecting things and allowing things to just be because it became a comfort zone for you. So be mindful of the sacred space that you're holding within, that if you want your outside to be peaceful, your inside must be worked on as well. It's a process. No one's saying that you need to do this overnight. What we're saying is, and here it is, you need to make friends with yourself. That sacred space begins when you accept your entire being as it is in a divine way and bring that forth, right? So I believe that's what Spirit is trying to say, at least from what I can gather from the images that are being thrown at me, is that a lot of us, our sacred space has been disrupted, especially with the pandemic. We've had to adjust and come out of a how can I say this, like moldy comfort zone, and we now got to clean house and we got to get back to something sacred. But to get there, we have to get rid of anything that doesn't belong there right now and bring things back into balance, right? Ask yourself this: are you capable of doing that? Do you want to do it? Do you feel called to do it? Because if you're not called to do it right now, don't force it. There's no need to force it. Your body will tell you exactly when it's time. That is like you're kind of like for those of you who can't really hear what your soul is screaming at you, your body will tell you, right? Okay, for instance, this is about creating sacred space. For months, my body has been disrupted, right? Because of something I've been eating. Now, because I didn't hear my mind tell me and I didn't hear my soul scream at me, my body was like, well, let me just make you fully uncomfortable until you make me comfortable, right? Your body won't lie to you. Your body will tell you, hey, this isn't working anymore. What are you going to do about it? It could create anxiety. It can create panic. You can become depressed, anything like that. You have to listen to yourself in whatever way it's screaming at you, right? So for those of you where your body's saying, please rest, guess what? It's time to rest. But your body might not be able to rest where you are. So your body might be saying, hey, it might be time to change homes. Or it might be time to clean up our home. Or it might be time to add something to this space to make me feel more comfortable residing here, right? Your body will scream at you. And that is where you have to kind of tackle that self-love bit. Not that you don't love yourself, because I believe everybody does love themselves. I think it's the degree to which you are showing care to yourself in a sacred space, in a divine energy. And it's really up to you if you're going to create that space for yourself or just keep rolling with the punches. I, for one, do not like being punched that way. I think that's unhealthy for me. Okay? I don't want to just be feeling like I'm getting hit with a spiritual 2x4 and, you know, my body's telling me we need to ascend and I keep trying to stay the same level. That's a headache. I don't like headaches. I don't know about you, but I don't like headaches. I like to be free. I like to enjoy the fullness of life. And I want you to enjoy it too. Oh, last card. So, how are you creating sacred space for yourself? Right? And if you haven't created that space for yourself, are you ready to create it for yourself within? Right? This is where you work with your spiritual teacher or with a group, you know, your peer group, or even if you're doing, you know, your own self journey. This is where you do all of this kind of shadow work. Are you ready to create your sacred space? And if you have started, what roadblocks have you hit? You don't have to comment below. That's a rhetorical question in of itself, I guess. But do you need assistance from your teacher, from your healer, from your reader, whoever you go to, right? If you need clarification on what that sacred space should be, or what your team, like your spirit guides and whatnot, are wanting to tell you what you need for that sacred space, that's when you go to your teacher or anything like that. If you can't get that information from yourself, right, from within, you'll go to your teacher, your reader, whoever. But if you can go within, go within. They'll tell you. Your body will tell you. You'll just, sometimes it'll just come as one word. Like sometimes you'll just hear, oh, smudge. Like sometimes it's just the energy in the place that needs to be cleared. You'll hear that. You'll feel that, right? Sometimes those random thoughts are actually your team trying to help you move in the right direction. So keep that in mind as you continue your mindful living and practicing self-awareness and self-mastery. So that being said, that was today's video. I'm going to leave it on this card because that's really what this is all about. It's about your journey and what you're going to do with it. And I applaud all of you for taking the journey, for practicing, you know, self-awareness and mindfulness and doing the shadow work. I applaud all of you, right? It's not so much that you're strong, it's just that you have courage. And it takes a lot of courage to fix the space within so that the space around you is that much better. All right, so that being said, you guys have a good week. I wish you the brightest of blessings. Stay hydrated, eat something good, and if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, and have a good one.